Guys, myself Venkatramana. Yeah, I'm expert into the Linux, DevOps, AWS, and Azure. So, coming to the DevOps, what exactly DevOps? See, DevOps is a terminology. DevOps is a terminology, also methodology. What exactly methodology? So, previously, previously it has a two things: a developer and operator. But we combine those two things and we can reduce the uh, gap between developer and operation people. There is a new terminology called a new methodology called DevOps. Okay, before going to the DevOps, why DevOps comes into the picture? Before DevOps, what are the technologies we have, and why, what are the disadvantages of the technologies, why, what are the advantages of DevOps? So I need to explain those things. So before going to that, we should have, like, we should know about SDLC. SDLC means software development lifecycle. Guys, if you take any project, if it is a small project, if it is a big project, even Facebook, Google, any project, they should follow software development life cycle. They should follow the software development life cycle. What are the steps involved in SDLC? Okay, let me explain. See, this is the SDLC life cycle. This is the SDLC life cycle. In this SDLC life cycle, it has a few steps. Those steps: planning, defining, designing, building, testing, and deployment. These are the steps it should involve in SDLC. If you take any project, if it is a small project, if it is a big project, they should follow the SDLC life cycle. They should follow the proper way. That way is called SDLC life cycle way. Here in SDLC, there is a one there is a multiple steps like planning, defining, designing, build, test, and deploy. Okay, I want to explain this same thing in real time, like the same thing in for our understanding. Like if you want to build any house, if you want to build any house, the first thing, see, if it is a house or if it is a project, the process will be same. The first thing, we should take plan from someone, like you should take plan from civil engineer, and later we need to define what are the things we require. For suppose I want to build one apartment. For that apartment I got a planning. Then what are the next step? What are the things we require, like bricks, sand and water? So how these are all considered as a defining. It comes under the defining. So what are the things we require? Now designing. See, whatever the plan we have, we should implement that part we called as a designing. Okay. Next, we should build the house with help of with help of laborers and carpenters and civil engineers. So those are all comes under developers. Those are all comes under developers, QA people. So once we build the house, we need to test the house, like whether that is able to, like whether that is properly able to restrict the weather or heat or any waterproof. We can test. Now once it is done, we deliver or we deploy to the customer. We deploy to the customer. Same process we are following. See, in terms of in terms of house, we are following, sorry, in terms of house or in terms of project, we following the same life cycle, SDLC life cycle. Planning. See, planning means we need to draw what are the things, or how can we implement, how can we do this project. So that one managed by created by architect people, like in terms of software we call it the architect people. Now once it is done, we are defining, see, if your planning is done, okay, what are the tools it is required for complete this project, or what are the technologies we should involve for complete this project. So we are all defining here. Next, designing in the sense whatever planning we have, we should implement that part we called as a designing. And once the implementation done, we can write a code and we can play somewhere, and we want to build that code. And once it is a build, we need to test that code and we need to deliver, or we need to deploy into the servers, or we need to deploy into the customers. Guys, if you go anyway, this process will see, this life cycle will not change. Okay, now see, we are we are build the house. In cities they follow the some rules, in villages they don't follow the some rules. Similarly, in SDLC have a multiple methodologies. In SDLC we have a multiple methodologies. Okay, the first methodology is called waterfall methodology. The first methodology called waterfall methodology, and we have a one more methodology called agile methodology. What exactly waterfall method, why agile comes into picture, again why DevOps comes into picture, I want to explain. Okay, so first, waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology, you can see this is the waterfall methodology. This is the entire project. This entire project we called as a single module. Single module in the sense we will deliver entire app in one time. For suppose you have a Amazon. This is your application. Okay, so client asks how much time it required to complete this entire application. So you are saying like, oh, it will take around 1 year to complete this entire application. Okay, so you will say like it will be completed with after 1 year. Okay, so guys, again the important thing is waterfall methodology. Like waterfall means single module. We will deliver entire. Like for suppose client customer wants to buy the new house. You says like we will deliver this entire house after 1 year. Means we will give the entire house at a time. Similarly, we will give the entire thing at a time. And guys, see, in entire project will be single module. What I am explaining, single module means we will deliver into one time, and all the dependencies in single module we called as a tightly coupled. Okay, let me explain that part later. See, waterfall or agile, the as life cycle will be common. Okay, now the life cycle: planning, defining, designing, build, test, and deploy. Okay, first suppose if it is a waterfall methodology, so if it is a planning, it will take 2 months. Defining, it will take 1 month, and designing it take 2 months, or build 4 months. Finally, we will deliver into the after 1 year. So this is the way this is the way we are segregating. Like okay, first 2 months we are doing the planning. Next 1 month we are doing the defining. Next 1 month we are do the designing. So that kind of planning you like that kind of segregation you have done. Now finally, your deliver into the your output to the so your deliver into the your application to client. Okay, but after 1 year client one client from client end, who he will ask like, oh guys, I want to add new feature, and whatever feature, see, whatever we are whatever we are giving at the demo time or POC time, so that will be different and the end output will be different, because we see sometimes the implementation part is not implemented properly, so client may not satisfied with that application. So at that time, after 1 year, see, after 1 year, see, he will ask again like, see guys, I want to add something in this application, and whatever the future you add, that future is not up to reach, so you should do the some implementation. So that kind of requirement he may give. Okay, now I want to explain again waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology is a single module, and we will deliver entire output in single time at a time. So we will deliver, see, initial for suppose this today we give the planning to client, oh this is the plan, and we will deliver after 1 year. And after 1 year, so client comes into the client comes and he will ask what, where is the my project, and you deliver the one house or one apartment, but that will not up to reach, and the client want to expect something from that application. Again, what you need to do, again you need to call planning and defining and designing and build and test deploy. Again it will be take more than again it will be take 1 or 2 months. See, this entire process will be completely dependent. For suppose if you want to do something in defining, definitely you should have planning, and if you want to do something in designing, definitely you want to planning or defining. Build the code, we should have designing. See, these are all dependent and on one on one. Okay, now here we are segregating the multiple we are segregating the time period also, like 2 months, 1 month, and two months. Now see, now initially we hired 20 people for this project. For suppose this is the project, initially we hired 20 people for this project. Okay, first 2 months planning. Planning means this will be managed by architect people. So first 3 months, 3 people are working on planning. Remaining 17 people have doesn't have any work. Means these 70 people, these 17 people sorry, these 17 people are, there is a no work to do, because they are bounded to single project. The first planning will happen, first planning within the 2 months. After 2 months, sorry, first 2 months 3 people working on this project. After 2 months, 2 people working, remaining 18 people have no work. So in this process, what will happen? Like a few developers or few QA peoples doesn't have a proper work, and the end output will be not up to reach. The first disadvantage is, see, we are delivering the output single time, so client may not accept that changes, or client may not satisfied with that application. That is the one thing, because in software world every day we get the new feature. See, if it is a 1 year duration period, it will be like lot of features are comes into the market, so client wants to that kind of features. But after, but we are implementing the plan what we decided today. Okay, so whatever the plan we are agree with the client today, we will implement those plans. But in outside world, every day new feature comes. So what happened again? Client wants to add that feature. So that will be difficult to deliver the end output to client after 1 year. That is the one thing. And second thing, whatever the planning and designing happens at that time, few people are working on that area, remaining people doesn't have any work. Okay, so see, uh, company will not encourage that kind of things. And guys, if it is the entire, see, this is the entire application. If you after deliver 1 year, this is the end output. Later, client says, hey guys, I don't want to add this prime option this time. I want to add after one. I want to add whenever I require. Please remove this application. Please remove this one. So what will happen again? All developers should work on that area, and we will deploy into the again. We will deliver into the again. At that time, what will happen? This entire application goes down, because if you want to deploy something, we are giving to at a time. Means, see, for suppose this is the entire project and we added something in here, again we need to deploy entire thing. So at that time this application goes to down state. This application, for suppose guys, all these are all the futures, but client wants to remove this future. So at that time, what exact, like generally what will happen? So what we think, like, okay, this will be disabled, remaining will all work. This is the what we expected. But if you follow the waterfall methodology, this entire application goes down, because of what they will do, they will remove this and they will deploy the code, and again they will deploy the code in new future. First, suppose you have a mobile, every month or every year, every 3 months we have a release. At that time they added new features. So if you added new features or if you updated the features, so what will happen? So my mobile goes to my mobile goes to a down state, like at that time we are not doing any activity. Similarly, if you do the any changes, if you follow the waterfall methodology, that entire application goes to down. Okay, that is the big problem, guys. Recently Facebook and Meta and WhatsApp, it's around 6 hours goes to down state because of manual error. Okay, they got 50 billions of money, like 50 billions they got loss. So guys, if it is a popular application, even single minute of downtime also impact and fuse. Okay, that's why they don't they don't want to they don't want to uh, see the application in down state. Okay, now guys, hopefully it will be understand what is this waterfall methodology and why what will the end output of we are giving to the client. So, and we have a one more methodological, guys, waterfall methodology. It was deprecated, no one can use currently. But if anyone asks what is the difference between agile and waterfall methodology, why agile comes into the picture, you should say like, as waterfall methodology is a single module, we will deliver entire output at one at what and what at one time. So client may not satisfy with that output, because new features they want to add the new features, again it will be take lot of time. Okay, now I want to explain about agile methodology. See guys, waterfall methodology, it has a few disadvantages. See, it is a single tightly coupled single module. If you change anything in here, again you want to deploy entire application, because that is a tightly coupled. Okay, each depend upon each. Okay, now coming into the agile methodology. Agile methodology, it is a multi-module. What is multi-module? Here we have a single module. This single module, we can see we have an entire project. For suppose you have a project, you are make it into the chunks, small pieces, and what you will say, okay, this week we will do the this chunk. Similarly, next week we will do the this chunk. Okay, like that we will work on that area. If it is a C, if you if you do the entire thing one time, and we that is the complicated way. Or else if you do the multiple modules or multiple chunks, what will happen? Here you can see this is the project, hexagonal project. Same project we will do, but what will happen? We will make it into chunks. We will make it into multiple modules. Multiple modules. Let me explain. So for suppose Agile is a multi-module. For suppose I want to make it into 20 modules. Okay. Now the terminology called sprint. Sprint. What will happen? So 20 module. Each module have a one sprint. For suppose in first sprint module one. In module one, it will take, guys, generally sprint is a 2 weeks. Okay, what will happen? This is the same application. I divided all is a one module, Fresh is a one module, mobile is a one module, electronics is a one module, Prime is a one module, Amazon Pay is a one module. These are all this front end page is a one module. Now what will happen? The first 2 weeks, I am working on this future only. This future only. I am not working on this entire project. I am working on this future only. Again, see, even Agile also same steps involved, SDLC lifecycle involved. But what will happen? It will be continuously development. What continuously development means? Let me open. You can see in sprint one, we want to work on this feature. Okay, now what will happen? I'm giving the plan, designing, build, test, review. This process will be happening within 2 weeks, which means this process will be this process will be happen within 2 weeks. What will happen? Within the 2 weeks, everyone has a work. Even architect people include, and developers include, testing people include, and deploying like operational people include. All the people include in first sprint. First, sorry, within the sprint. This is the sprint. This is the life cycle. So if in case if it is not completed, if it is not completed within the 2 weeks, what will happen? We called as a backlog. We called as a backlog. Again, we will add that backlog into second sprint. But what will happen after 2 weeks? After 2 weeks, we will give to the some input to clients. Sorry, some output to clients. Hey client, oh, okay, I did some changes in all. Can you please validate this one? So if they validate, and if it is good with this, and we can continue. Otherwise, if you want to add anything, we can add, because no problem, we are spent only 2 weeks of time. So if you want to any add new feature, we can add, no problem. Because guys, simply if you construct the any house, after completing the walls, we will ask to client, like we will ask to customer, please check the walls whether it is properly or not, what kind of design you want. Similarly, every 2 weeks we are talking with the client. Hey client, we are adding some feature and you can verify, or you want to do any modification, you can let me know. So the see, previously we are giving the entire project after 1 year. But if it is a agile methodology, we are giving the project after two, like not entire project, guys. See, finally we are giving the this is the end output. But now here what will happen? First I'm giving the all, next week I'm giving the fresh, next week I'm giving the mobile, after next week I'm giving the sprint, what we called as a sprint electronics. So now what will happen? New feature will be added, and every week we are validate from the client. So client, see, if client wants to add any new change, we can add it, no problem. Because every sprint, planning is happen, defining is happen, designing happen based on the client requirement. So finally we will give the end output like this. Previously also we will give the end output like this, but at that time client validate after 1 year. Here client validate every 2 weeks. So if client wants to add something, we can add after 2 weeks. But previously in waterfall methodology, it is a after 1 year. At that time, client may expected lot of features, new features they want to add. So again, it is a rework kind of thing. Guys, hopefully you understand what exactly waterfall methodology. Waterfall methodology, everything is dependent on for so planning and designing implementation, these are all depend upon we previous steps. But if it is also same thing, but what will happen, it will be continuous process. The first sprint, okay, launch, okay, after deployment, if any backlogs, again we will consider that backlog into this sprint, again we will deliver. So it will happen in real time world, guys. Guys, hopefully you understood, right? Any any questions? Any concerns? Guys, say yes or no. Hopefully you understood, right? What is the agile methodology? What is the waterfall methodology? Okay, I
Yes.
hopefully. Yeah, thank you. Now, now previously we have agile and waterfall. Now, why the DevOps comes into the picture? So in agile methodology, we deliver to the customer. So for suppose you constructed one house and you deliver to the customer. But after deliver to the customer, so we should take in care about maintenance also. Otherwise, what will happen, that application may goes to may application get lot of errors and we should resolve. So that part, see that part not including in agile methodology. Okay, so in DevOps we added, like in DevOps we added actually DevOps, developer and operation. So please ignore spelling. Developer and operation, combination of developer and operation. This terminology, the see it will be reduce the gap between developer and operation. Okay, now now see in DevOps, what are the disadvantages in Agile? Agile only deploying into the customer, but after that we need to take care about operational part, maintenance part. So that will be taken. See, along with this life cycle, we will be taking care about maintenance and we will be taking care about operational things in DevOps. That's why, and DevOps, see whatever the steps we like, whatever the things we are doing manually, we should automate it by DevOps. DevOps methodology. See, in DevOps methodology, we have multiple tools involved in DevOps methodology. Around 200 plus tools are involved in DevOps methodology. But I'm not going to explain all the tools. Whatever the tools currently we are in like whatever the currents mostly companies adopt, that tools only I'm going to explain. Okay, na guys. And DevOps, what again I want to tell, DevOps is a not a any technology, it is a methodology. It is a methodology. It will be reduce the gap between developer and operation people. Okay, it will be reduce that gap between developer and operational people, and we will give the more efficient, and we will give the more efficient output to the client. Also zero downtime. Zero downtime means if you add any new feature, if you add any new feature, it will be, if you add any new feature, it will be no downtime. It will be no downtime. And guys, if you want to become a DevOps engineer, you should know minimum requirement. You should you should have a degree. That is the first requirement. And if you want to become a DevOps, the first thing is we should know about any like we should know about OS. What kind of most of the servers, 100% out of 100, 80% of servers placed on Linux OS. Linux OS. Okay, operating system. See, similar like a Windows, but Linux is a open source. Linux is a open source and free of cost. But Windows is a not a open source and it is not a free of cost. It is a enterprise edition. What exactly enterprise edition means? We should pay something to get the uh, to activate that. Okay. Now now if you as a DevOps person, we should have a minimum requirements Linux and cloud. See, guys, most of the companies they want to move their application into the cloud. Why they want to move the application, I will explain. Before that, I'm going to explain the Linux. Guys, Linux is a one kind of a OS, and most of the servers like server nothing but a mission, server nothing but a one computer, but it has a more configuration. For suppose your laptop is a server. When we call as a server, if you deploy any application in your server, and that to be high configuration like 160 GB RAM or 260 GB CPU, 250 CPU. See, that kind of configuration we called as a server. Okay, and guys, the next we should know about minimum basics commands and minimum basics to sustain in DevOps world. And again I want to tell, I'm not teaching the entire Linux administration part. I'm teaching the Linux basics which are required for the DevOps. Because if I'm telling Linux only, Linux admin, it will be take around 3 months of time. But I'm not going to explain all those, but I'm make sure I'm explaining whatever required for as a DevOps person. I'm not explaining into the administrative area. And next thing is cloud. What exactly cloud? Cloud nothing but it will be provide the IT infrastructure. Guys, IT infrastructure. It will be provide the IT infrastructure. First, suppose if you want to go outside from your village to somewhere, but suddenly you don't have a bike, what will happen? You don't do but like you don't buy the new you don't buy the new one, right? Instead of that, what will you do? You will take from rental, and you will once your task is done, like once your work is done, again you will again we will give them, and how you will pay how much you utilize. Similarly, cloud will be what will happen? It will be provide the IT infrastructure, pay as you go. Pay as you go means how much you are using, that much only you can pay. I'm not asking extra amount. Okay, see, for suppose you want to start a new startup company. For suppose something test.com you want to start. For that, for that you need a one office, and you need a servers. Guys, previously we have a servers, and we need a laptops. Everything we need to create a, if you create a new organization, you need everything. Okay na guys, you need everything. So if you buy like all the things like laptops and servers and ACs and 24 by power supply, everything you brought. Once you brought and you get the one project, after that you didn't get any project, you have a no project, what will happen? See, we are spent lot of money on servers everything, but we don't have any project. What will happen? Definitely you may lose the something from your end. Instead of that, you no need to worry. See, if you maintain your servers, definitely you will take care about the power supply. For suppose if power gone, servers also into the down state, definitely you will take care. But instead of that, I want to start a new company, but I am not worried about that because I want to take all infrastructure from any one of the cloud. Then they will take care about maintenance, and they will take care about maintenance and security, everything they will take care, because we are no need to worry. See why we are not worried, because that much of assurance they will provide. Because if you found something, your data is loose, if you raise any ticket to that cloud, definitely they will give 10 times of 10 times of amount what you lose. Because initially in starting of 2016, AWS AWS compromised some data. At that time they filed a case against AWS, so they will give 10 times of amount what they'll use. Okay, guys, cloud will be provide the 100% security, 100% is 100% is maintenance, everything that will be provided. And one thing I want to tell, guys, see cloud, if you learn cloud will be nest, the entire world will be turned into the cloud. So no, you no need to worry about it was a deprecated in future. See, cloud will not deprecated. After 30 years cloud will be same. Okay, no need to worry about, deprecation. No need to worry about the, okay, if I'm learning this cloud, okay, it may deprecated, like it may guys, cloud will not deprecate it, but only thing is it advanced. It advanced means if cloud provides the multiple services, so it may increases the services of cloud, but it not deprecated. That is the what I want to tell one thing. And cloud, we have a multiple cloud providers, aws aws and Azure and GCP. See, AWS which provided by Amazon, and Azure which provided by Microsoft, and GCP which provided by Google, and Oracle. Oracle is a Oracle database. IBM is IBM own databases. Oh, sorry, own clouds. But most popular clouds are three only: AWS, Azure, and GCP. And out of the three, I am going to explain about AWS, because entire world 58 percentage of people are working, 58 percentage of people are willing to work on AWS cloud, because it will be provide the high security, and also provide the user friendly console. So that's why most of the, like 58 percentage, I'm not saying Azure is not a good, but Azure also good. Because if you are doing the .NET project, guys, one thing I want to tell, if you learn any one of the cloud, remaining functionality same, terminology only different. For suppose in AWS we called as a VPC, in Azure we called as a VNet. The only thing is terminology is different, but functionality is same. Okay, if you know the functionality, you can able to understand remaining clouds, because remaining clouds also same. Guys, see, gold is anyway same, but that company will be like different. Like if it is Lalita Kalyan Jewelers, the company will be changed. You know the design, or you know the functionality of how to making the gold. It's a company. The only thing is company here. See, Amazon is a company. It is the vendor is Amazon, AWS, Azure. The vendor is Microsoft, GCP. The vendor is Google. But whatever they want, like whatever the functionality they are using, functionality is same. So I don't see, guys. Please concentrate on the functionality. Okay, now guys. So I'm going to explain about AWS cloud. AWS cloud, in AWS, it has a multiple services we call as a Amazon Web Services. It has around 200 plus services, but I'm covered what are the tools what are the services mostly we are frequently used. I'm sure about that. I'm telling around 15 services which are required most popular. Okay na guys. Now coming to the DevOps. So DevOps guys, DevOps it has a multiple tools. So for suppose I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this. So for planning, we have a Jira. We call it as a ticketing tool, or else we have a draw.io, draw.io, or Lucid charts. So these are for planning. See, as a DevOps person, you no need to worry about the planning because planning will be taken care by business analyst or architect people. So, but I want to take a 30 minutes of class how to draw the how to draw the lucid charts, how to draw the architecture diagrams in real time work. Okay, na? So you don't need to worry. And now defining, defining this comes under Jira, Jira, Jira service. Now, guys, these are all tools. No need to worry about the tool. See, it is new to you, so no problem. Service now, these are the what we called as a tracking tools, ticketing tools, ticketing tools are are project tracking tools, project tracking in the sense project tracking tools. Okay, now design. For design we need to code and we need to place the code. Design, we have a source code management. We need to see guys, you did some you did you did some changes in code, but one thing, your code should be secure. How can how can we assurance your code should be secure? You should place in a source code management, or source code we called as a source management. Source code management means it will be taking care about the code security, or it will be taking care about, see, for suppose you brought the bricks and sand, everything you brought, and if you keep that into outside, what will happen? Someone may someone may steal that things. So what will happen? We should keep into the in protected area. Similarly, I have a code, I should keep that in a product in safe place or protected place. That is called source code management. For the source code management, we have a tool called Git and GitHub and GitLab and Bitbucket. So these are all the tools, but I'm going to explain Git and GitHub. If I get a chance, definitely I will explain these two also. And now I now the build tools is Maven and Nest, Node.js. These are the build tools. Okay, na guys. These are the build tools. I'm covering these two. See, these are the Java technologies. These are the Java technologies. Most of the applications are applications are developed by Java only. That's why Ant and Maven are Java build tools. Node.js is a front end. No, Angular and Node.js. We have a Node.js is a build tool. Now testing, we have a Selenium guys and unit test, but I'm not explaining about testing part. This, see, this will be the taken care by QA people. Now, now I'm going to involve two things here. Artifact. Okay, let me now deploy. I'm explaining AWS and K8s Kubernetes and Now coming to the operational part I'm going to explain Ansible. We called as a configuration management Ansible tool. Now these are the things I explained, and apart from that we have a few more tools called Terraform. Guys, Terraform currently we have a huge market in outside. So if you put Terraform in your resume, you will get the more calls. Terraform we called as a infrastructure provisioning tool. Guys, don't bother about these words. See, you able to understand once you are into the DevOps. Terraform provisioning tool, and we have a artifactory tool. Artifactory tool means what we called as artifactory. We have a artifactory Nexus. What will happen? First, suppose if you go to the any application, first suppose okay, first I'm going to the okay, let me okay. First, suppose you have a mobile, you have a multiple versions, multiple releases, previously we have a 10 version, now it is a 11th version. Now what will happen? You found something in 11th version. 11th version is not that much good comparing with the 10th version. Though now again you want to go back to the 11th version. Sorry, again you want to go back to the 10th version. So what will happen? They will keep the versions in somewhere. They will keep the versions in somewhere. That versions keep in somewhere we called as a artifact tool. We call as a artifact tool. Artifact tool is a nexus, and scanning tool. Scanning tool. What scanning tool means? If see, if you writing the something in code level, but unfortunately you add some unparliamentary things like unparliamentary symbols or unparliament like a it's kind of a abuse symbols. So it will be directed by a tool called sonar cube. Sonar cube, see, sonar cube is a tool scanning your code. Okay now guys, scanning your code. So these are the tools I'm involving, and one more tool called CI/CD. This is the art of DevOps. CI/CD I'm going to explain Jenkins. So guys, whatever process we have, see, whatever the process in we have, we should automated by the Jenkins. Jenkins is a heart of the DevOps. Okay now guys, previously we are doing through manual, now we are moving to the DevOps only. Sorry, we are moving to the Jenkins. See, these are the tools. See, these are the tools in planning. I may explain the drive, lucid chart to the enterprise edition. Defining, I may like I'm explaining Jira. So designing, I'm explaining Git and GitHub. Build, I'm explaining Maven and Ant. Test, test you can ignore. I'm not explaining anything. In deploy, I'm explaining AWS, Kubernetes, Docker. In operational area, I'm explaining Ansible. In CI/CD, Jenkins, and again these are the additional tools: Terraform, Nexus, and SonarQube. And guys, SonarQube, Nexus, it will be take 1 or 2 days as classes. And apart from this, this entire course will be completed within the 2 months. So 2 months is a minimum period. It may extend it because if anyone wants to explain a real-time project, definitely I'm involving the real-time project within the classes. Okay, mostly guys, I'm not telling the any basics of any of the tool. I'm going into the depth of like how much you require if you want to sustain in real-time world. That much of knowledge I'm giving. Okay na guys, I don't want to like I won't want to tell that things, but I don't like if you comes into the that area, definitely you will know like how much you able to sustain or not. Okay na guys, now The minimum things, see, these are the tools I'm covered. Linux basics and cloud AWS. In AWS, I'm going to explain around 10 to 15 services. 10 to 15 services. And DevOps, these are the tools I'm going to explain. Okay now guys. Duration 2 to 3 months. Okay. If you are interested, guys, please, like, minimum requirement for, like, if you want to do something, like, the first thing is you should install Git. If you go to the here Git, okay, just click, go to the downloads and just run install. If you are using Windows machine, that is the first requirement from your end. And the next thing is VS Code, what we call as Visual Studio Code. Go to the Google, VS Code, download. You can see download VS Code, and you should download based on your required OS. So if it is my case, it is a Windows. And guys, Visual Studio Code is a software development kit. It will be things easily. It will be make things easily. Okay na guys. Someone drop something. Okay. Now guys, the second one is VS Code, and the third one is AWS account. Guys, AWS account creation. Guys, AWS provide the, if you are a student, AWS provide the 1 year free tier account. Free tier account, you no need to pay single rupee, but you can do the all activities with the certain limits. So I will explain that limits. And go to the AWS. I'm open AWS. AWS. AWS Amazon Web Services. Now here create a new account. Guys, it is a similar kind of a email creation. Now we can see, you should give the username and you should give the account name. For suppose I'm giving my email bvramana112 @ guys, see, don't delay the things. If you really want to interested into like, if you really want to comes into the software, definitely you should spend at least 3 to 4 hours in per day. Otherwise, see guys, without struggle, how can we sustain in future? So guys, please spend 3 to 4 hours per day if if you want to really comes into the software. Otherwise, guys, if you don't know anything, you can just Google it, no problem. If even myself also, if I don't know anything, I just Google it, that's all. We can find multiple answers. We should apply one by one. Definitely we'll get the one output, and we will know how to resolve the things, and we will know how to troubleshoot the things. Okay now guys. Now see, this is the AWS account creation, which is a similar like a email creation, but one thing, the one condition, it requires credit card. That credit card will be deducted 2 rupees. That 2 rupees again credited after 24 hours. But the only why it is asking credit card, for address proof only, it will ask the credit card. Okay na guys. So KWS will not deduct anything from your credit card without your permission. So you can create AWS account with credit card, and it will be initially, it will be delayed, it will be deducted 2 rupees. After that, it will be again, it will be credited after 24 hours. Okay na. Once you are created your AWS account, like this AWS will be like this. This account will be like this. Okay na guys. So hopefully you understood about what is the DevOps and what are the tools I'm going to explain and what are the minimum requirements from your end. Git, Visual Studio Code, and AWS account. These are the minimum thing because most of the time we are working on cloud only. So that's why I want to create this first, and also Visual Studio Code. This will be things easily, and Git. I want to explain why we are installing Git. Hopefully, guys, understood what exactly DevOps and what if you want to join, if you are interested to learn these technology, definitely you should follow the my instructions. And guys, if you are asking anything, if you have any concern, please unmute yourself and ask me. And one thing I want to tell, see, if I don't know anything, I don't want to blame you. So if I don't know anything, I simply say I don't know. But and definitely I will learn and I will get back to you. But if I don't know anything, if I don't know anything, I don't make any false promise. So if you find any new technologies in some other company and they want to, like, if it is really that much of market, definitely I am involving that tools in here. No problem. Okay, na guys. So if you have any concern, please unmute yourself and ask me. Guys, any queries? Dinesh.
నో క్వైరీస్ బ్రో. క్లియర్‌గా
See,
అర్థమవుతుంది.
okay. See, guys, if you are hesitated to ask in English, this see no, see no one మీరు ఇంగ్లీష్‌లోనే అడగాలని లేదు. సీ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు సీ ఇఫ్ యూ రియల్లీ ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ స్ట్రగ్లింగ్ విత్ ద టెర్మినాలజీ, యూ వాంట్ టు కన్వే దట్ సేమ్ థింగ్, యూ వాంట్ టు ట్రాన్స్లేట్ దట్ సేమ్ థింగ్, డెఫినెట్లీ I will try to convey that into the our mother tongue in Telugu. Because see the only thing we should understand this functionality and we should understand about why that comes into the picture. Whether see no one ask whether like in companies they want only functionality. Okay, that's why మీరు తెలుగులో నేర్చుకున్నా ఇంగ్లీష్లో నేర్చుకున్నా సో ద సేమ్ థింగ్ యూ విల్ కన్వే టు ద క్లయింట్. Okay, so no need to hesitate asking about anything. So I'm not aware about the, like, I'm not some people like some people are they are poor at English, like they hesitate to ask questions. They simply say, hey, I'm good with that. But after that they may struggle. Like after that a lot of struggle they face. So no need to worry. So I'm open the bridge, and if you want to ask me in Telugu, I can answer you. If you ask me in English, I can ask you. I can answer you. Apart from that, though apart from that, if you ask any language, even I don't do answer. I don't know that languages. So guys, no need to hesitate and ask me, and I will definitely, if I know, definitely I will try to give my best. If I don't know, I will try to learn and I will try to give that same thing. Okay na guys?
ఫైన్.
Okay na? Thank you guys, have a nice day, bye. And you can find